Greetings, loyalists and heretics. Welcome to Iron and Ceramite, where we once again enter the warp without an astropath.
Hello everyone to this special Iron and Ceramite video. I'm John and I just want to wish everybody a very happy Warhammer Fest and also a very happy Warhammer Fest to my co-hosts Glenn and Shane. How are you guys doing?
Very good.
All good, thank you.
Cool. So as we're all aware, this week is Warhammer Fest, and every day from 6 o'clock on their Twitch, they've been streaming something different. Yesterday was Age of Sigmar. Today was what we've been waiting for, some 40k news. And then just tomorrow will be Black Library. The next day will be boxed games. Friday, some more 40k. And then Saturday, the mystery announcements. So if you haven't already, after this video, go and check out Games Workshop's socials and you can see all the pictures of all the announcements that we're going to talk about from today's video. So before we get into anything, get your guys' quick thoughts overall for today.
Some very nice stuff. Appeals greatly to me because I've got a Sister Battle Army or Adeptus Sororus Army. Very irritating though because I've got the old metal models. So scale-wise, it's a little bit off, but a lot of the stuff that's coming out, because it is designed to be a bit bigger and a bit hencher, I don't think the issue with the scale is going to be too bad for me. But yeah, really excited about that. And obviously a little bit about at the start with Bellacore and stuff like that. Mentioned it in the previous episode. Sort of the one model that I look at and go, yeah, really like that. Really want to get my hands on that. So yeah, I do like sort of campaign books and stuff like that because it does add a lot of sort of extra things that aren't necessarily compulsory to add in, or you have to have it, but it gives you different missions, different strategies, different things to add in. And for sort of more experienced guys like myself, it opens up a few more things. I know, John, you're still getting to grips with sort of the basics of the stuff. So once you get, you get used to, playing the same kind of however many missions there are in the rule books, campaign books like that really kind of expand out on, giving you extra things to look forward to. Yeah. So you'll come to love the new books, hopefully, and not be one of the people that goes, oh, another book. Oh no, I don't want to have to buy this. You never have to buy anything, but if you choose to, it generally is always worth, the money that they charge for them. That's how I look at it. Yeah. It is an optional purchase, and if you buy it, it's generally got value in it.
I agree with that. What about you, Shane? Quick first impressions.
Yeah, I echo a lot of it actually. There's I think obviously that was what was it? Three videos overall, wasn't it? Where they went for it, and so I thought, I thought it was good. I think some of the models. So I'm not a Sisters player, but some of the models when I was looking at the way those revealed and we'll go into it, very very cool. Definitely. And also what I liked both video 1 and 2 is also a nice bit of lore for the lore junkies coming out of that as well. I won't go in. We'll get into it when we get into the videos, but I thought that was pretty good as well. I also enjoyed one of my favourite comments that wasn't too hazardous in the stream was the term Nundam, which is obviously a play on Gundam. But I thought that was very apt for a lot of stuff that's coming out for the Sisters. And I love to see some of those models.
Yeah. Cool. Right. So let's get into it. So like we said, so there's a couple of videos that we had. The first video definitely appealed to me. I might have squealed when I saw the terminus est appear, and I think it was Typhus doing a bit of a voiceover.
No ugly fanboy.
Yeah, boy. So we had, so like you were saying, this is obviously a campaign book, and it wasn't something that I was aware of. So this is Charadon, and this is Act 2, the Book of Fire, for Warzone Charadon. So obviously we've already had part 1 which I believe they said was mainly between the Death Guard and the Mechanicum, the War for Metallica, and this is a carry-on of that, isn't it? And like you said, this has already made me want to go and get the first book and check that out. Maybe I need to learn to play the game first, but that's definitely.
Well, you're not reading your own codex, let alone bloody.
I know, but I can still buy it and look at the pictures.
It'll look good on the shelf.
Yeah, it looks good. But yeah, so it's definitely like piqued my interest, and then so this is a carry-on, isn't it? For that, and if anybody's been watching the last episode of the podcast, one of Glenn's models that he wants to own made an appearance in this. Bellicor, Glenn, if you want to take it from here.
Well, yeah, he's the original first Demon Prince. He's been around since day dot. He's incredibly powerful. I think in game, which is always a massive selling point to me, is he is ridiculously powerful, kind of like over and above kind of Primarch kind of level. Obviously, he's going to cost a lot of points. He's probably going to cost a fair bit of money as well. But it is a huge, beautifully designed model, even just right down to, the little bits of detail you get on the base. And yeah, this book is him coming, sort of following in behind the Death Guard, as they put it, massive battles attract other armies in to try and sneak in, steal territory, accomplish their own things. And he's the Lord of Shadow, and he's going to come in and do his nefarious schemes and do whatever he can. Yeah, it's really nice to see some of the more unloved older stuff getting a bit of attention.
Yeah,
and that's definitely what's coming from that book.
Isn't Bellicor one of the characters that transcends both Age of Sigmar and 40k?
A lot of named demons in general do, and most of the named demons especially are in both books.
I also quite like the rule they touched upon, that he allows you to field armies of demons and Chaos Space Marines together, which sounds very cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's sort of in the standard Chaos decks, but you've only got like the lesser demons, your bloodletters, your pink horrors and stuff like that. I think this is going to give a much bigger variety, which in my mind is the way it should always be anyway.
Yeah,
there's going to be, especially with certain armies. Obviously, things like Night Lords aren't known for having loads of demons around, but like a Word Bearer's army, there's going to be demons flying left, right, and center. Proper chaos armies. It's a chaos incursion. You're going to get a lot of demons flying around, there's psychic power, there's warp rifts, everything's happening. So there should be shed loads of demons tearing through the place. And yeah, it'd be nice to see the full rules of what that means for army selections. I think I'm a sucker for, combined armies. That's why I love like the End Times books for fantasy. Whenever they started doing the combined armies, it was like, yeah, I can have some of that. Oh, really like that. Yeah, I'm going to put them all together, and it's going to be phenomenal looking.
Yeah, I was going to say the other thing with Warzone Charadon, I was quite lucky in that it was literally in the last edition of White Dwarf, so I read up on it in the Warzone, because it mentions the Death Guard and how the AdMech's involved as well, and we'll come on to the AdMech part in a minute as well. But also in that Warzone is Thousand Sons, who were there at the same time as Nurgle and the Sisters. So there's opportunity for this to really expand as a Warzone and the books themselves. And I think it was quite interesting that both the Thousand Sons and the Death Guard sought the zone out because of its it's like a triple centric star system, and both numbers are important, not the sacred numbers, but are important to both the Thousand Sons and the Death Guard. So I think, as I said, from a lore point of view and how that develops, I'm quite interested to see how that goes as well. So I think it's going to be quite an interesting narrative that plays out as well.
It's nice that they seem to have really put a lot of thought into the lore behind a lot of the new releases, because it's not a case of we've got this book with this army and this army. You know, they've really gone to tie it up, and then so much more than just it's two armies having a scrap.
Yeah, I mean, this all seems to be very centered around the Indominus release, especially when we get onto like more of the sister stuff. So yeah, like you say, keeping with the lore, keep everything current, and sort of moving it along. It all seems to. I mean, I don't know what it's been like with past editions, but it seems like they really are trying to tie this one together and keep it coherent.
Yeah, it was a lot of more sort of standalone. This is fighting this for this reason. There wasn't a great kind of like overall story. I think from this edition and even the previous edition, they're really getting a lot more involved in sort of like forging the narrative, as like they are constantly banging on about. But yeah, there's a lot more interlinking bits and pieces.
Yeah. So what about that scenery? The scenery box that they announced, that looks pretty good, pretty nice.
Yeah, I wrote that down as one of my notes because I was like, oh, that's nice as well, because he did. What did he mentioned that it was taking over from one of the other box sets they had. I don't know if it's Sector Imperialis or is that might be that what Dave was after. I can't remember, but it's just nice. I think it's nice when they have those good terrain sets that look quite chunky and you know, atmospheric. So I definitely on my list of things to get once maybe the pile of shame's a bit more manageable.
Yeah. Well, and there's two ways you can go with it really, because if you're sticking to the lore, like the beginning of that video was all wool rust and that, so you can paint it up nicely, or you can do what I do, and we're just going to throw some Nurgle's rot on it, some typhus corrosion, and some vomit and bile, and be done with it.
Yeah,
so
I think with
really,
or with scenery, I don't think you don't need to overdo it, like because it's there to serve a purpose. But if you do want to go to town on it, you absolutely can. But
it looked nice though. Like just I think we just sort of saw the box and like a set piece, but it looked really nice.
It's got the big Admech skulls on it, you know, like the ones that you can paint white and black, which, you know, as I said, that line down the middle gives me nightmares. But the big the Admech skulls are always nice.
And then, so as he sort of said, like Bellacor's piggybacking off the invasion of the Death Guard, and then pigging off the back of that are the Sisters of Battle arriving, and then that sort of leads us into the second video package, brings us to the Codex of the Adeptus Sororitas. So we got, I don't know how many of those were new models or ones that we've seen before and they're just coming out, but they all look pretty good.
I think I might be wrong. 2 of them are brand new. I think 2 were brand new. 2 have been talked about before. I think what I was a bit surprised that they went for the I was expecting an Admech Codex, but as they mentioned, apparently it's so close. Like they, you know, there's no point in doing it. So I was like, okay, fair enough. So then this felt like a surprise because I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting a Sisters Codex announcement yet, which was cool. I think the Morven Val, who was one of the new models, the High Lord of Terror, which I think is very cool. That's a very cool thing. And then the other new one I think was the Castigator, so the new battle tank.
Honestly, like if any model could sway me to picking a new army, that Castigator.
That tank was pretty special, wasn't it?
Yeah. When I was watching it, my missus was sitting over there. When it came up, I went, "Oh, look at that!" And she just looks at me like, What are you looking at? I was like, but it's a tank. But that didn't help my case at all. But no, that looks sick.
Oh, it was a good looking tank. Yeah. And then I think there were the Paragon war suits, but I think they've been announced. There was that, I can't remember, that duo of characters.
That was Astrid Ferga and Agatha Dolan, the banner bearer.
Yeah, that's it. And then you had the sisters with the shields, the big shields.
Oh, were they the Celestian Saracens?
I believe so. And then you had the what were they? The chaplain equivalents.
Oh, Dogmata. was her name.
So they can cast equivalent to not psychic powers, but similar to your chaplain litanies and stuff like that. So a bit of punchy stuff for the sisters.
Yeah, all very combat oriented. Yeah.
Yeah, I like sort of the lore they were given to that new character, Moore and Val, saying like she was elected High Lord of Terror, and she was recommended by Gilliman, and then they sort of instilled her, thinking they were going to be able to sort of tell her what to do, and then instantly she's gone, "Now I'm going on a crusade."
Yeah, it was very cool.
Like that. Yeah,
wants to be at the spear tip with Gilliman and the Indomitus. I quite like that, rather than just protecting shrine wells, which I thought was nice.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there looking at the Paragon war suits, more than Val, that castigator, and then plonking it next to a couple of penitent engines, and being like, that's a punchy force. I would like that as an army.
It'd probably be expensive as well. So when we was talking about just getting like a force where you didn't have to get too many models to paint, you could get them and probably just power through.
Yeah, I think they'll probably be around about the same kind of price in my mind as things like the Centurions. Because the Centurions obviously not as big vertically, but much more hench. There's 3 in a box. It's probably going to be similar kind of price to them. So you're probably looking at around about 15 quid per model when you break it down across the box. So, but that's pure speculation. The character probably going to be pricey enough because she looks around about the size of probably a Dread Knight, but she's obviously going to be a bit more expensive than a boss of the Dread Knight because characters tend to be. But it is a very, very nice model. I quite like the sisters with the shields, because just seeing someone with a shield with a pistol in their hand behind the shield, it's just a really nice little touch. It's like, okay, so a space marine's going to run around. Yeah, I've got a storm shield, I've got a thing. You can't strap it to your arm and hold a pistol there as well at the same time. But it's really, really nice models. And with the sisters models, they're always really, really ornate and really well designed. Sometimes with boob plate, but we can forgive that.
I did laugh because one of them had like the candle stand on her back. Just think, come on, that's just showing off now.
I think that's all the ecclesiarchy though. That's sort of weird, gothic, all of that. You've got to just lean into it. I think it's amazing. I think it's great to see. As I said, it's if I could paint better, I'd have a crack at it. But it's I think that's the one thing with the sisters to a degree. A little bit intimidating for me as a painter at my stage now. Having said this, I've slowly begun to realise that had I been looking at picking a chapter to paint based on ease of painting, I wouldn't have picked Space Force. Going back now, because there's lots of little details and none of the paint goes on one go. And it's like, so maybe the sisters is the way to go. Maybe follow Dave's footsteps with his Black Templars and just a load of Abaddon Black and Nuln oil, and that's it. The jobs are good. And
3-tone army.
I will say one thing though, John. Are you not aware of some of the other Sisters Battle models? They have a tank that has stained glass windows on it. So
I did see that. Yeah.
Some candles on a backpack, that ain't nothing compared to driving around with stained glass windows on your tanks.
Yeah. No, I have seen that, and that made me laugh as well. But that was cool. But that's one of the things I love about 40k, just sort of how ridiculous some of this stuff is. How are you walking around with that on? I mean, I know that we've got some good tech here, but you look top heavy.
Well, like one of the book's predominant weapons in the entire 40k is a guy running around with a goddamn chainsaw for a sword. We're supposed to be like 38,000 years in the future, and that's what we've got. Yeah.
Peak technology.
Good choice, guys. Good choice.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't. If it ain't broke, don't try and fix it.
Yeah, that'll break stuff though.
Yeah. Cool. So, any more we want to cover with the sisters? obviously their codex. Obviously we mentioned that.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see the actual rules as well, because they did mention a lot about, you know, stratagems, and with new codexes come new stratagems, new relics.
They did mention that, didn't they? And some of the secondary objectives that you can pick for them, and looking at the weapons and the data sheets and stuff like that. So I think, well, if you go by the last few codex releases as well, like the Death Guard came out, they were punchy, like that was like, oh, it's game breaking, and then the Drukhari have come out, and they're like, well, no, they're you know, everyone seems to be like, it seems to be a nice feeling every time, you know, to the armies when they come out. So I will be interested to see what they're going to get, because it feels like every codex, the armies are getting real boosts.
Yeah. I think the last thing they didn't really talk about it. It was more of a tease, because obviously tomorrow is the Black Library releases, and the only sort of tease they gave us was that maybe some books based on some miniatures that everybody likes are coming. So I don't know particularly who they're aiming that at, because this has been a sisters heavy day. I don't know if we're going to get some more lore behind Morven Vow or some of the others that we already know.
I took that statement the other way, and it was going to be some models of books that we liked.
Yeah.
So some series that has, you know, maybe been around for a little while, I'm going to get some models from them, more so than them showing, because I don't think, like, sisters wise, they're not going to show off any more models, because they've probably blown their load today. So yeah, it's possibly going to be something like, I know he's already come out, but things like Ventress has been done recently. That's a really nice model for the Ultramarines. It's probably going to be something along those lines, you know. A really good character that's been around for a while. Oh, maybe Ghosts.
Well, you never know. Yeah.
It won't be, because they're done with that book series. But, you know, again, that's just sort of, it could be like the double whammy for me from the last pod. I want this, and I'd like to see that, and they just go, well, here's Be'lakor today, and they have some Ghost models tomorrow. That would just be, that would have been too good. But I'll also be eagerly watching, work permitting, at 6 o'clock tomorrow to see what they show us.
Yeah. Cool. So before we go then, any predictions for Friday's 40k drop? Anything you really want to see? I know we're not going to get Mechanicum now, unless they're holding something back. Be nice to see some more additions to, like, the Xenos in their chat on their thing. A lot of people were screaming for that. Saw someone say they want some more updates for the Thousand Suns to bring them up into the new era. And then some very happy people giving their opinions.
I think, I suppose there's so many factions that it'd be good to see getting a bit of love, like Chaos. Yeah. I mean, you know, the Orc players, they're hanging out, they're waiting for something. Like, there's that talk, I think it was one of the 40k memes as well. It's like, if the Orcs get Primaris Orcs, they, instead of being called Orc Boys, they've got to be called Orc Lads. And
that's one thing I wanted to mention, is because I put the thing up on Instagram for the new Pain Boy, and quite a lot of people liked it. You wasn't overly keen on it.
Because his face was all covered.
Right. Okay.
And like I think part of the Orky charm is their big old face. Like, if he'd had half a face or something like that, fine.
Yeah.
But I think covering an Orc's face is, I enjoy them for their expressive orkiness. And I think covering that up, it wasn't like, it's a nice model.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be one of the Orcs I'd go for.
Fair enough. I just wanted to ask, because I was like,
I saw it and I was like, it's okay, but it's just, as I said, I like to see the face of the Orcs.
Yeah. Cool. All right then. Unless you guys have got anything else or I've missed anything, we'll wrap it up. Cool. So if you put in the comments down below what you thought about today's releases. Let us know what you want to see coming up in the rest of the week. Join us on Instagram. You can tell us over there. Obviously, we're on Facebook, and please do like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And hopefully we'll see you again this week with some more updates from Warhammer Fest. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
As always, we would like to thank you for listening to our Iron and Ceramite podcast. If you liked us, then you can also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and any other good podcast services. Just remember, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war.